This is Comic Picks by the Glick.
Hey, I'm your host, Jason Glick.
Hey, Jason Glick. Welcome to December.
Yes,
Santa Claus is coming to town and shit.
Santa Claus is coming to town for like our next podcast, but not this one though, because no, it's like Santa's. I'm not sure if Santa wants anything to do with this one.
All right, what do you have on tap for us?
Okay, well, I have on tap Black Science for you all, but I guess before I get into that, let's talk a bit about its writer, Rick Remender. Remender is a writer who has followed the traditional comics path of clawing his way up through work for smaller publishers like Dark Horse and Image before transitioning on to big budget stuff for Marvel. I mean, he did stuff like the End League and Fear Agent at Image and Dark Horse. And and the response to that series was good enough to get him get a leg up on writing stuff like Venom for Marvel. And then his big breakthrough series, Uncanny X-Force, which sounds weird to say hey, it's like X-Force, the more militant, kill happy of all X-Men titles. This was a big breakout title, but Remender's run on that title was really, really good by by superhero comic standards. I mean, just the idea that he took these characters like Wolverine, Phantom X, Psylocke, and Deadpool. And Archangel as well. Oh yes, Archangel. Did stuff with them that a lot of people weren't expecting to see. It's throughout just turned a lot of people's heads. And when he did his big the Dark Angel saga. I mean, when you're doing a series of builds of as a dark something saga, in an X-Men title, it's you're basically calling up comparisons. Hey, remember the Dark Phoenix saga? Check this shit out, man. Well, the Dark Angel saga really lived up to that comparison and stood as one of the best event stories in Marvel for the last decade. And and that basically and while Remender had already made a name for himself at that time, this series basically catapulted himself into the big leagues, giving him and Marvel's Marvel gave him their big X-Men Avengers team up series, Uncanny Avengers, to write. And it wasn't quite on the same levels as Uncanny X-Force. It was still a pretty good read, which had him shooting for the moon on his big 3-volume Avenge the Earth saga. But the thing is, Remender, a lot of his contemporaries, such as Matt Fraction and Kieran Gillen, realize that hey, this is only going to last so long. So I want to use this fame that I've got writing for writing for Marvel. I want to go and do my own creator-owned series. Well, that's exactly what he did. So he went right back to Image, and the first series he launched was Black Science, but it wasn't the only series he launched because following on its heels were Deadly Class, Low, and more recently, Death or Glory. Now, much as I like Remender, and I think he's definitely a talented writer, he's got a quirk that's unique to him that I find that actually caused me to actually just stop reading a couple of his series, because Remender loves to grind his heroes down, basically have so much bad stuff happen to them that you kind of wonder wow, man, this gets really depressing. I mean, when are they gonna finally do that things, the thing where they turn things around and show that they're on top of everything. And the thing with his work though is that when he's working on, say, a Marvel project, there's only so far you can grind a character down, because it's hey, you've got to come back and do another story with these characters next month. So I mean, you can only there's this kind of safety net that prevents him from doing that thing too much to the characters. And his work on Uncanny Avengers and Uncanny X-Force show that he can, that he and this safety net work really well together. When he doesn't have this safety net, the the prospects are a much dicier proposition. I stopped reading his Fear Agent series about like the sci-fi adventurer Heath Hudson because I figured, oh well, hey, what's going to happen now? Oh, more bad shit. Oh wait, he's just going to lose again. Oh, he's just going to. Oh, now he's going back in time now. Like have even more bad shit happen to him. Fuck this. I don't need to like burden myself with this stuff. I mean, bad stuff keeps. There's enough bad stuff happening all around us. I mean, it's like if you're going to like do something where bad stuff constantly keeps happening, I mean, just do it in a way that's like completely unexpected to me. Don't just go, oh wait, hey, your best effort, you're gonna try your best to combat this. Oh wait, and it's gonna fail. No, that kind of stuff just annoys the shit out of me. And same goes for like his series Low, which that first after that first volume was just so depressing that I just thought, oh wow, it's like there's gonna be like more volumes of this. Oh, and the next volume is only gonna be 4 issues, and about this, and even more expensive than the first one. So it's like, no, I'm not gonna bother with that. So there's 2 series there that I just went and gone. Okay, no, that's not gonna work. The exception to this rule, and I'm talking about this later on, is Deadly Class, where he's actually managed to make the grinding down part of the fun because these are high schoolers like enrolled in an Assassin's Academy, and it's just like all the drama of high school turned up to 11, and just seeing these bad things happen to them, it just becomes. I guess you could say it's so ridiculous that it becomes enjoyable again. It's like that's all I got for you right now. But Deadly Class is probably the exception to the rule where like Remender grinding down his characters is just no fun. And then there's like Death or Glory, which for the most part like played was a great action story for the majority of its first volume, and then had an ending where everything actually went right for its character, which I thought, whoa, this is surprising. Like a first volume where its Remender protagonist actually comes out ahead. Wow, I hope he didn't hurt himself writing that. Shit. Anyway, so yeah, that's kind of where I stand on Remender. I think he's a great writer, but like but that one thing, but his thing is grinding down characters, and it's like it's really not clear whether or not I'm going to actually like follow what he's doing to the end, because like that's not really like a trait that I think is like super like compelling. And that brings us to Black Science. Black Science is his longest running creator-owned series that he did with Matteo Scalera, who he worked with on was it Secret Avengers. It's like, and ostensibly, it's like the setup is it's kind of like the old Sliders riff. People going to alternate universes, and having adventures there. The hook here is that this is the person having these adventures is one Grant McKay. It's like the scientist who was leading the team that invents like a device called the Pillar, which will like jump you from one universe to the next. It's like take you from our boring vanilla universe to one like where hey, it's like you'll have like frogs that shoot lightning through their tongues. It's like and have like slate. It's like other slave amphibians. It's like dancing for them, as we see in the first volume. And we also see people in this crew die in the first volume because it's like, well, ostensibly it was supposed to be just granted his team taking a quiet jaunt out through the Pillar, like, oh, and along with his 2 kids, Pia and Nate. It's like, but then shit goes wrong. His boss Kadir and his assistant Chandra show up, and they want to know what's going on, and like, oh, whoops, someone sabotaged the Pillar, and now it's like it's going to keep jumping them at random intervals through the through the multiversal construct known as the Eververse. So you think, okay, that's what it's going to be like for the series. It's just going to be like Grant and his team, his 2 kids. Oh, and one of his team happens to be his mistress, and she's got her own agenda about what she wants to find, like in this universe of infinite realities. And the first volume, like kind of played out like to that structure, to those expectations, until it got to the very end when it looked like Remender was pulling a really ballsy move, and I thought, wow, didn't see that coming. And yeah, this setup it's like seems like it's going to be great because, well, I guess spoiler warning for like a 4 or 5 year old series. It's like Grant McKay like meets his maker at the end of issue 6, and like the new protagonist of the series is professional scumbag Kadir Aslam. Okay, I'm kind of I was actually really on board this when it happened because even if Kadir was kind of a dick, it's like he was at least one who had like reasons for this. I mean he had like it's like a deeply founded dislike of it's like of Grant. It's like and his success, but it was kind of understandable in the sense that Kadir is the guy who like wants to play by the rules, make things happen the way they do, and Grant is all just like anarchist authority. I mean his friends are like bill themselves as a league of anarchist scientists, who view themselves as beholden to no authority but yourself. And Kadir is just kind of like, no, it's like you guys are all dicks. You're gonna get everyone killed. So, and yes, he's really kind of an asshole about this, especially when it's revealed the pillar works, and that because he's the head of this, Kadir goes, "Hey, who has 2 thumbs and is going to get all the credit for this? Me, baby." So yeah, it's like he's an asshole. It's like he's deeply unlikable, but he's also kind of like coming from an area that you can understand this. And so I was kind of like looking forward to seeing like the rest of the series like be about Kadir coming in, becoming a better person. That was a great hook right there. And it doesn't matter that the first volume took its entire 6 issue length to get to that point. Well, that's not what happened, because it turns out that Grant McKay wasn't quite as dead as we thought. Oh, and it turns out that the alternate universe versions of him and his wife that showed up in the first volume, well, turns out they're actually sticking around for a little bit longer, and they're actually really kind of important to the core thesis of this series. But the thing is with Black Science, especially its first 3 volumes, which continue the trend of them jumping through different universes, like, and more bad things keep happening to them, especially with Volume 3, where they jump into a science fiction version of Rome, and they're just going to, and it's like, and while they're just trying to survive long enough to get out of there, like Grant's one of Grant's partners, Sean, basically tells him, "No, what happened to like leaving every universe better than we found it?" And you think, okay, this is gonna be the turning point. This is where things they're gonna turn out to be better. And by the time everyone jumps out, or well, everyone is forced to jump out because of reasons of the plot. Well, it turns out that all their efforts to like make things better, well, it's just like undone by a last page twist. And I was like, oh, for fuck's sake, no! It's like this is awful. Am I just going to read a series where just like everything just keeps getting worse and worse for the characters? No, this is not my idea of a good time. Especially when I can see just how everything's gonna, when they broadcast like how everything's gonna be worse. So I was ready to give up on Black Science. Things didn't get better, but holy shit, they did! Because my God, Volume 4, God World, was a big revelation. I mean, yeah, it started off with like Grant lost in some weird, it's like weird world. It's like where he's just like barely remembers like what he's supposed to do, and he's like confronted with this gas bag floating animal that keeps asking him questions. But then it's like it takes him on this weird surrealistic journey as we learn just exactly why he is like the rebellious, arrogant it's like person that he is, like why he keeps like rejecting other people's authority and just trying to control everything himself. It's like, and it's kind of like it's like it feels like everything, like the first 3 volumes were just kind of like the running him down, but God World is the moment where holy crap, Grant like finally gets his light bulb of self enlightenment, and yeah, it happens in some truly weird ways, but great. But I like that. Like I wasn't able to see anything that was happening here coming. It's like, and he's able to just finally get his life and character arc back on track. And after Volume 4, I was like, holy crap, this is great, man. It's like I want to see more of this like positive like version of Grant McKay, and that continued on through like half of True Atonement, Volume 5, where he finds his daughter in another dimension, but he just also winds up kind of like fucking things up for her as well, but in a funny kind of way. And he also winds up making kind of the ultimate sacrifice, not his life, but something that's also very important to him as well, in order to set things right with like with her and the people who've adopted her as well. But then like he winds up getting back to his home dimension to drop his daughter off because he don't want to put her in danger anymore. And whoops, turns out that Kadir has survived all this time, and now he's working with his boss again, Mr. Block, and they want Grant to hey, we need you to like build a newer and better pillar for us. It's like, while we pillage other dimensions. Well, that's kind of like how things go throughout the next couple of volumes. Um, like Forbidden Realms and Hidden Truths and Extinction is the rule, as Grant has to deal with like people like Kadir trying to get what he wants from him, and also like his daughter Pia finding out that, turns out there's a race of of body snatchers on the Earth from a previous dimension that we saw back in Volume 1, trying to trying to take over things here. Oh, and his turns out his other son Nate is also alive as well. Problem is that he's joined up with his own like superhero collective. It's like, and they're trying to save the universe from these body snatchers as well, but they've also got to contend with the evil witch that Grant set loose back when he helped make that sacrifice for Pia. Oh, and then things get even crazier in Volume 7. It's like, as all the conflicts come to a head, and then things things get like a little more calm in Volume 8, as Grant reconnects with his wife and finds out that, hey, it's like maybe things are it's like the idea is that, hey, it's like maybe like he's Grant's told that his quest to reunite himself to get his family back together is going to ruin the Eververse, and that's actually kind of true, really. We're going to come back to that in a bit, but but then he and Sarah, his wife, like they reconnect. They realize that, hey, we want our kids back, but and we have to like try and find a way to jump to the center of the Eververse, find out the center of the onion of reality, and they find heaven. No, really, they do. And it turns out heaven is just like the receptacle for all the crazy adventures that the entire Eververse has been like designed. It's like designed to take in. Like reality is just a VR construct, man. We're like a simulation for the angels' amusement, dude. It's like crazy, man. I know, but it's like, but then like you get to the like final page, and after reality has been erased, well, it turns out there's one world left, like for everyone. And I guess I want to take a bit to say that it's like I think like the strength of the series is that Remender, it's like, even I mean, his writing syncs up really well with artist Matteo Scalera's art. I mean, there's just like a really just like this kinetic sense of action. It's like whenever they're working together, they like a chase scene with them just comes off as just being like incredibly immersive, as you're just following following just like the scattered thoughts you might have as you're like adventuring through something. It's like, and it's like they just capture that really well on the page. So there's great action here, and I think that that Remender does have some good ideas. It's like about like a broken character as McKay. It's like because I mean he's just like working through all of his all of his issues, like from being raised by a like verbally abusive mother, from feeling that he's responsible for the death of his dad, from rebelling against all authority. I think that it's like even it might verge on self-parody at points. I think that McKay is an interesting character, and especially like the more we see of him, even if a lot of the times it's like I think that sometimes the dialogue here can it's like is capable poetry, and then other times it just feels like that Remender is having characters like shout ideas at each other rather than actually talk to each other, and that can be kind of frustrating, especially whenever like whenever Grant and Kadir start butting heads about something, because for the majority of the series, these two are just at loggerheads about everything, and that's understandable, and but it's also kind of frustrating as well because I guess I think the biggest loss of this series is that I think that you know my additional idea of seeing I would like to have seen the series from Kadir's perspective, because I think that even if he's not really like a really good person, it's like he's got reasons, grounded reasons for doing what he does, and I can understand that. So I wouldn't. So honestly, I wouldn't mind seeing that. What what everything would have looked like from his perspective, and that would have been. I think that would have been worthwhile. I don't think we're going to get a Black Science like from the Kadir side follow up to this series, but it's like that's just something I would have liked. It's like I would have liked to have seen more of. It's like as the series goes on, especially at the end, because here we are with the final volume, No Authority But Yourself, and as is it a worthy finish for the series? Huh. Well, I'm gonna go with yeah, but there's some caveats, because the first couple issues are dedicated to wrapping up the hey, it's like there's one slice of reality left, and it's been taken over by a rich that can completely control your mind. Well, that happens. That happens, and then two issues at the end of the two issues. Well, Kadir steps up and says, "Hey, it's like you're going to deal with me now." And then the very next issue, well, we're on a world where everything is fine. It's like where things are like completely under control. It's like everything is perfectly ordered to the point where like robots are just like overseeing your daily caloric intake, and it is a world that is absolute hell for Grant, because he's the only one in there that remembers what the universe used to be like, and that apparently between these two issues, Kadir tricked the witch into into resetting the universe and putting him in charge of things. So um it's basically like Grant is basically like stuck with like like with a choice. So like, does he just go along with the flow, or does he like rage against his confinement and it's like, and finally like and show Kadir whose ideology is really right. Well, what happens is we get both of those perspectives. It's I partway through that issue, it's like we see like there's a uh, sorry the next last issue, it's like issue 42. Partway through that issue, well, at the start of it, we get to see what happens when Grant rebels against it. Then there's a flash to white, and we get to see what happens when Kadir, in this universe, Kadir says something less inflammatory, and he can just convince Grant to just lay down his gun and just go with things. And it's like it's interesting to see the differences between these two worlds. I don't want to get too much into spoiler territory, but think that it was unexpected, especially seeing what happened to Grant when he finally decided to just stop fighting. The part of the universe where he keeps fighting like is probably more true to the series, and unfortunately less interesting as a result. But I don't know. It's like the series is just kind of like presenting the idea of like, hey, what's better? Is it better to just fight against authority for what you believe in, or is it just better to just like finally like give up and just like accept things for what they are? The answer isn't quite as obvious as you would think, because okay, the way the series ends, like the final page, it's like it on one end like things things are really happy for one Grant, but at the same time, though, you get the feeling that it's about to be really terrible for that Grant as well. But you don't see what happens to that Grant, so you can assume that, like I do, that the other Grant fucked things up again, as he does, as is his wont, and it's like, hey, it's like that this Grant lived happily ever after, until the end. And the other Grant, well, if you want to know what happened to him, go read the first volume, because there is a really impressive trick here that when I was rereading things, after I'd read the final volume, thought, okay, yeah, okay, this is interesting. Then I went back and read the first one, and I thought, hey, okay, this is all right. Wait a second, are these? Is this Grant and Sarah? Oh my God, man! So yeah, that's some really impressive plotting right there, and technically, it really helps me make up my mind as to which reality of Grant's is worthwhile. So I guess I guess in the end, it's like I've got lots of issues with Black Science, from Remender's like traditional need to grind everything to dust, like to have like things turn out the worst way for his cast, and it's like and Disney for some characters to make them like truly unlikable. It's along the way, but in the end, it's like he offers just enough to hope. It's like and end uplift to make me think that, hey, it's like maybe it's like maybe it's like maybe everything like was meant to work out. It's like in the end as well. So honestly, like Black Science, it's kind of a it's for me it's kind of a difficult series to like. Um, but I can absolutely, but it's not. But I think just like rereading it, taking it all in, I can appreciate how everything comes together, as awkward and painful as it can be at times. And just like I have to respect the craft. Like if nothing else, it's like, and like I think that final volume does it's like it's definitely a worthy finish for the series, especially like that choice that it offers. It shows you like how all the actions are a result of one, it's like of one choice, and like putting these two paths for Grant. It's like I think that I think that really sells the series right there. And plus, it's like in the end, it's like I want to believe that at least one Grant had that mega happy ending. So, and even if one path basically is just reading the series suggests that, oh well, the worst possible thing happened to him, but Remender didn't give in to nihilism and show us that. In the end, he basically hinted that this is very likely what happened, but it didn't actually happen. So it's like, if it didn't actually happen, then I'm going to say that, hey, it didn't happen. Period. So I want to keep this series, keep it on my shelf as a reminder that, hey, it's like, as long as I have this, it's like I'm gonna hope that everything turned out, and I'm gonna say that no, it's like things did work out for the best for Grant. It's like, and that's how I'm gonna say this series ended. So, is it worth reading? Yeah, yeah, it is, but it's a challenge. I'll definitely say that much. So, John, any thoughts on your end about all this?
Well, not exactly. So you recommend it or not? It kind of getting.
I think if you've heard about this series and you're wondering, hey, should I check it out? I think you should, but maybe not the first omnibus edition, which collects the first 3 volumes, and it's kind of like, hey, it's like it's all the bad downer stuff. It's like, no, if you're gonna read the series, you got to commit. Get volumes 1 through 4 first. Get volumes 1 through 4 together, and then decide if you want to read it's like the final five after that.
Oh, there you go. So you know what you're going to be talking about next time.
Oh, next time it's going to be Christmas time, and so that means it's either going to be talking about Brian K. Vaughan's puzzle box of a series, Paper Girls, or Warren Ellis's reinvention of the Wildstorm universe in the Wildstorm. Be advised though, whatever I don't talk about next time, we talk about the time after that. So there you go.
All right, and we'll talk to you next time on Comic Picks by the Gleg.
Right, laters.